Hello, welcome back to Color and Canvas, and today I am going to be doing a dip, and the dip is going to be on these three lovely little 4x12 canvases that I bought in a set. 4x12 Artist Loft, they're lovely. I can't wait to use them. This is my first time using these. And let me tell you about the colors that we're using in this dip. Our base coat, titanium white from Triptych Basics. This is what I used. And I mixed that with my pouring medium, which is 50% Floetrol, 30% Gluol, and 20% water. And I think it was about 4 parts pouring medium to 1 part paint in this case. And it's nice and thin, just the way that I want it. And all the paints are mixed with that pouring medium blend to different amounts. 24 karat gold, that's probably about a 4:1 as well, with a few drops of water added in. And then our rainbow colors are Amsterdam, magenta, cyan, and yellow, our primary colors. With a tiny bit of Triptych Basics iridescent medium mixed in. You don't have to mix that in. I just wanted a little bit of shimmer in there. And those are also mixed with the pouring medium, about 2 parts pouring medium to 1 part paint, and then a little bit of water to thin. That's actually not true. And I'll tell you why. Because that's what I have in my cups here. A little bit thicker in the cups. That's not what I want for my dip. So this is probably a good 3 parts pouring medium to 1 part paint and a little bit of water, plus that little bit of iridescent medium. So you can see they're thin, but they still leave a mound. It dissipates really, really quickly. And so that's what we are using today. I'm going to move these aside, and I am going to dip them side by side. I don't want to dip them into the same paint because I want them to be a set that matches, and each time you dip into leftover paint it changes, and I want these 3 canvases to sit side by side, so I want a consistency in the result that I see on them, which is why we are doing it the way that we are. So I've marked off a space with a paint pen. Ooh, still wet, that's not good. I will stay out of that paint. So we have a space marked off. I will just put our base coat down, drizzle our colors in, do some dipping, and we will see what beautiful rainbow we can get. Now, what's our dipping surface? Our dipping surface is Glad Press and Seal that I put down on a board. And I love dipping onto this surface. It gives just the right amount of tension to the paint. It does not move because I have it attached to a board, which I've attached to my table. And I just really like that product for doing this technique. I don't love putting canvases together, and in this case we have 3, so it isn't practical anyhow. I just find it harder to control, and especially with these, they're going to be hard enough to dip into the paint because of the wide edges, the deep edges. It would be almost impossible to get them to adhere perfectly together. So we're going to do this. I'm going to start drizzling just a little bit of gold all over our surface, and I'm going to also end with gold. But I want to get that in here mixed in with our colors. Our beautiful 24 karat gold. Okay. Now, I'm going to start with blue, red, and yellow. Now these are going to go all over the entire surface, but I'm going to put a little bit extra by thirds of each color to see whether we can get a little bit more of each of them on one particular part of the canvas, even though they are going to be throughout. So I'm just going to drizzle first, each of them where they are, and once I'm happy with how much paint I have down here, then we will add them all over the rest of the canvas too. that makes any sense. That is the plan. I want all the rainbow of colors, but I want a little bit more of each one in a particular part of the canvas. So that'll be our magenta line. And as you can see, I've taped up the sides of each of the canvases as well, because I don't want anything dripping down. Okay, let's get ready to dip. Here we go. I'm just going to step off to the side. I'm going to move these over so that I'm not dripping as we pick them up. So I'm going to go all the way over here to the edge. Dip that right in, just like that. Now it's tricky making sure that you have good coverage in there. And I did not think this through. Nope, that's not so good. Well, you know what? Let's hope. Let's hope that there's no air bubbles down here, because this is very tricky in comparison to other canvases. I'm just gonna push down, 1, 2, 3, lifting and keeping my fingers crossed. Ah, beautiful. Exactly what we wanted. That is lovely. Okay, I'm gonna put that down. I'm gonna grab my torch real fast because there's a couple of air bubbles there. And I'm just going to leave that right there and grab our next canvas and do our next dip right away. Okay. So far so good. Let's dip this right in, right here. I'm gonna not go over the paint that was already dipped from the last one. That's why I left, you know, about a ½ an inch in between. So trying to just put a little bit of pressure in here without gushing all the paint out, but I think we're okay. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, lift, and another absolutely beautiful one. Oh, I love these. I'm going to put that down right here. That gold is just making a little ribbon through. That is so pretty. There's one stubborn air bubble, and I don't want to scorch that paint, so I'm just going to pop it just like that. Let me set this one aside over here. I will bring them all back at the end of the video so you can see them. I just want to make sure nothing drips on anything else right now, and we keep all 3 of them clean as planned. And here we go, our final dip right here. 1, 2, 3 into the paint. Okay, I'm just going to press down just a bit. We have good coverage. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, lift, and lovely again. Oh, I'm so pleased at how these came out. And a couple more stubborn bubbles. which we will pop just like that. Sometimes the big ones are a little tricky. And now you can see the benefit of taping the sides, because it is dripping, and when I take that tape off, it's going to be nice and clean on all 3 of them. Can you see them? There they are. Beautiful. So that's the 3 of them finished, and stay tuned. We'll be right back and show them to you when they've dried. All right, we're back, and here they are. They're dry, they're bright, they're spring-like. I see flowers everywhere. Let's have a little close-up of each one, just to see all the pretty details. I think they turned out absolutely delightful. You can see how much deeper those pastel colors are now. And well, there we go. 3 pretty little springtime dips. I absolutely adore them. And I hope you do too. And I hope you go and dip something. Do some painting, make some art, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.